A local doctor advising Bahamians to keep a keen eye on the steady spike in dengue fever infections. In this report, LaDon Davis tells us what all you can do to protect yourselves from the virus.
With 66 dengue infections on record, President of the Physicians and Consultants Association, Dr. Sabriquet Pinder, says the spike in numbers are all too familiar. Several years ago, there was a swarm of dengue infections that pushed local health officials to the limit. However, Pinder says climate change would increase the breeding changes of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
We know that we've been having extremes of heat. And certainly we know that we've been having a lot of rain, and mosquitoes only need a small, cap full of water to breed.
When asked if the fogging exercises are effective in the fight against dengue, Dr. Pinder said this.
It's an extremely important element. So I think environmental health, to my knowledge, has been collaborating with the ministry. And so I'm hopeful that they will continue to fog. But we also have to be mindful that there are other things that we need to do. We need to, check our yards for things that are collecting water, because those are breeding grounds, whether it's our dumpsters that aren't covered, our flower pots, old tires, all those things. So we have to be mindful of that because it's important. In addition to that, the mosquitoes are so tiny, okay? And then some of them are, the larvae is there and that sort of thing. So the fogging isn't going to be able to get rid of everything. So we also have to do our part in terms of using insecticides to spray out areas, making sure that we have screens in our homes and keeping doors closed.
Officials have warned that if bitten by a mosquito, there are certain symptoms.
Certainly if you have a fever, a high fever for 2 days or more, and you have at least two of these other symptoms, joint pain, muscle aches, pain behind the eyes, vomiting, abdominal pain, any of those things, even if you have respiratory symptoms and things along that line, we want you to come in and seek medical attention or call the hotline. So the Ministry of Health has also been issuing dengue alerts as well.
But if reluctant to visit a local clinic or even the hospital, here are some home remedies as alternative options.
When persons have a fever or pain, get some Panadol. We don't want people to use like the Motrin and those types of medications because there's a risk for bleeding with dengue. So the acetaminophen, the Panadol, things like that would be good to make sure that you're taking care of that fever, or if you need, a little sponging, you can do that, especially with children. So it's very important for us too to be mindful of that and to make sure you're keeping hydrated.
With all of this in mind, Dr. Pinder is strongly encouraging Bahamians everywhere to take full advantage of the tips provided to avoid becoming a statistic of this mosquito-borne virus. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDon Davis.